Hi chaps, just wanted to speak about left and right hand coordination and the importance thereof. When we're learning an instrument, I think particularly guitar, we focus very much on what this hand does. This hand, as in strumming, tends to get neglected a little bit. But what definitely does get neglected is the relationship between the two hands and making these hands kind of move up and down and respond to each other at the same time. And in your early days of playing, or looking at kind of melody playing at least, where we just have one or two notes being played at the same time, you may find that this hand is on the third string and this hand is on the first string, and you're playing this and it's like, well, why isn't that sounding like an F, which is what that should be? Well, the answer is because we're on the wrong string down here. And that is something that can actually be looked at and should be looked at, and we can develop the coordination skills between the two hands. And to that effect, we have handout number 3, which we picked up in this week's session. I'm just going to quickly go through each of those exercises and hopefully offer up some tips on how to play them and get the most of them. So I shall get straight to it rather than ranting on all the time. So exercise 1 uses the 4th finger, so this is a good opportunity to get this little guy involved. He generally tends to just hide and he's gone. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4. You may find that this is a bit of a stretch and it feels a bit weird. That can change. You can actually train your hand to open up a lot more than they naturally do. Ways to address that is play as close to the fret as you possibly can. And what we want to see with this is that once you play the finger stays down. So as you can see there, we've got all 4 fingers. And just work that up to the 4th string. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And your speed at first might be fairly slow, but the great thing about these is that we can pick up our speed as we go along, and we can hear how we're improving. So the next one, we have 1, staying on the 1st string, 1, 2, 3, 2. I should just say, when I'm saying out numbers out loud, I'm referring to the fret that we're playing in. 1, 2, 3, 2, and then we do that on the 2nd string. 1, 2, 3, 2, and as you can see, we're keeping the 1st finger held down all the time. This is a really good exercise for training your hand to do what your brain is telling it to do. I don't know whether you've found that when you're playing, you're sending signals down to your hand here, and your hand's just not budging, it's seemingly gone to sleep. Okay, the 3rd exercise, we have 1, and then we go to the 2nd string and playing the 2nd fret, and then the 3rd fret but on the 1st string. And then we move that up a string, so we go 2nd string, 3rd string, 2nd string. The 4th exercise is very similar, but we have the 4th finger is back in action. So I'm just going to move this up a bit closer. So 1st string, 2nd string, 1st string, 2nd string. And then move it up a string. So we've now got the 2nd, 3rd string, 2nd string, 3rd string. which is of course forcing this hand to move up in stages here. So that was the fourth. The fifth, we have string jumping. So we go from the first fret to the third fret and then jump up to the third string, third string, and then fifth string. First string, third string, fifth string. So this hand has to jump up in missing a string, so it jumps up in twos. And then finally, it's the same exercise, but we're going to get a little bit braver now. We're going to go 1, 2, third string, and then do the same thing, but 1 fret up. And so on. You might find that easy, you might find it really not easy at all. Either way, it's absolutely fine because we're forcing our hands to do something that's a bit uncomfortable, and we're forcing our mind to think in a way that send instructions to our hands that it probably hasn't done before. So whether you find that easy or whether you find it difficult and you hate it, either of those are absolutely fine. Obviously, they don't sound particularly melodic unless you're into that thing, unless you're into kind of experimental jazz, in which case good for you. And I wouldn't question it. So just add those into each practice session, perhaps 5 minutes, maybe a bit less, 3 minutes, just whizzing through them before you get into the stuff that's a little bit more pleasing to listen to. But if you do that, stick to it, include them in every practice session, you should find that your coordination, your speed, your dexterity starts improving at quite a quick rate. So happy practicing.